Mm.
To another edition of Grown Folks Business. It's a beautiful Thursday.
Can I tell you? It's still, to Andre's point, Jay Dwayne's point, it's still so prevalent. And I know I'm tired. I can't imagine what you guys are like being in that skin and like, damned if you do, damned if you do.
And wholeness. I want to live a life without any lack. And that's my ultimate desire. And it's really about inventory, if you will.
Whatnot. And you get really busy and you get on a train track that just carries you through a number of years.
We shared with mom and family that, we won't be there. We won't be home every Christmas. With birthdays, that we'll celebrate. We'll call, we'll celebrate, but it might not be on that day.
All right, welcome to another edition of Grown Folks Business. It is a very unseasonably warm Thursday where I am anyway. I'm appreciative. I like when it's mild out, but I also know that it's not technically supposed to be this way. So hopefully the world gets itself together and we get to be here for when it does. Um, Glad to see some familiar faces in the place. Jay Dwayne and Lisa, these stalwarts, these grown folks business participants. Y'all are some of the best people I know. Um, Rebecca, a colleague from my days at Central. I'm glad you could chime in. I was encouraging of her too, but she's shy, so we'll just be hearing her voice. But glad you could make it. I think the topic is worthy. Kaylee, thank you for doing what you do, keeping us broadcasting smoothly. Um, I just want to always show gratitude. That is a segue because tonight's topic is happiness or gratefulness. Choose wisely. So I'm making that. Hey, Shalita, good to see you over there on the typing side of the game. You can put your words over there. I think you would appreciate this topic as well. But I like to think that they're kind of related, but for tonight's purposes, I'm going to kind of treat them as binary things. But I will ask that question if you think they're related. That'll be the first question, actually. So I'm gonna come around the space and do what I normally do. Thanks for chiming in, Shalita. Good evening to you as well. Uh, so I think I'm gonna start with Jay Dwayne tonight. Uh, Go ahead and get the men's commentary on 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 out in the air, and let the two ladies chime in afterwards. So Jay, I'm going to actually start with that question I just mentioned: is how closely related are these two things, happiness and gratefulness, or are they related at all? I'm kind of treating this binary tonight, but at the same time, say what you say. Are they related?
As far as gratefulness and happiness. Oh, I don't feel like they're related. I feel like we couple things together. I think that they can complement one another, but I don't think they're necessarily grateful. I mean, necessarily related. When I think about gratefulness, that's something that you can experience regardless of the emotion. I can be grateful for some of the bad experiences. I can be grateful for some of the great experiences. I can be happy and grateful. I can be sad and grateful. Whereas sometimes happiness is, I guess that's the old church in me. Happiness is temporary. You know, happiness is more flighty to me. And I think we can have a lot of joy filled moments, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're joyful. And happy is kind of that temporary response to something that we enjoy, in my opinion.
No, that's right on point. In my opinion, that's right on point. I don't necessarily think they are. What is it? They're tangential, but they're not in lockstep. They're in proximity from time to time. I believe uh, and I might be jumping ahead myself. I seldom do that, but I'll do it in this instance. I believe that to be authentically happy, which we know is temporary and flighty, um, gratitude supports that authenticity um, in a way that can help you appreciate it more. Uh, but that's kind of subjective. But I think you can make them dance partners, real good dance partners. I don't think you have to silo them, but I am, and I do recognize they're two different things as well. Jay, good response. I'm going to bookend the veterans. So Rebecca, I'm coming to you. You're being the middle here. So how closely related are happiness and gratefulness, or are they related at all?
Now, Felton. Sir, I told you I'm gonna be a background character. No, it's okay. Uh, I definitely agree that happiness and gratitude are kind of intertwined, but you can also have one without the other. Uh, as an example, I'll use myself. Like right now, I'm not happy, but I am grateful for everything that I have in my life. The fact that I'm able to have my own place. I still have a job, multiple jobs. I still got income coming in. It's like it took me a long time to realize that I'm not as down as most people are. And a man outside of Target seriously humbled the mess out of me a few months ago. Of course, he was asking for some change for a hotel room, and it was cold. And of course, I went in and got him some money. But on my way out, I had said, I'm out here like just like I had made a comment about being like down real bad, being terrible or whatever, not really doing anything. And he just looked at me and was like, yo, you're about to get in your car and go home to a warm bed, to a warm house. And I'm out here, you know, essentially asking people for money. So I'm like, that man really humbled the mess out of me that night because it made me realize that even though I'm not where I want to be in life, even though I'm not happy right now, I still need to be grateful for what I do have. And I am grateful for my relationships, friendships, all that good stuff. For you, Felton, even though I love our little debates, man. But yeah, they don't have to be like definitively intertwined. Like you can be happy, I guess, without being grateful. But I haven't experienced that yet. I'm just on the grateful side, not happy side. So dance partners was a really good one. I like that.
Thank you, Rebecca. That meant a lot. But I think that eternal state of gratitude that I've mentioned on the show so many times before, yeah, it supersedes so many elements of other emotions or states of being, um, because it allows for you to really connect on a deeper level to what life can bring you, what life kind of is, and what when it's not what we want it to be, it can remind you that you still should be uh, happy to be here. Haha. I made them dance a little bit. Y'all get that? So, Lisa, coming to you next. How closely related are these two things, or are they related at all, in your opinion?
So I have a different vein. I like the context of the subject matter, but I always compare happiness and joy. So Jay alluded to it a bit with bringing up joy, and as I describe it, joy comes from internal gratitude, internal connectivity, whereas happiness is dependent upon some external factors most of the time. So people become happy and unhappy based on some circumstances and situations. But if we focus on being grateful, to Rebecca's point, for the things that we do have, I think that can keep us filled with a modicum of joy. And joy is more sustainable because outside things are going to shift all the time. So with the level of confidence and gratitude for focusing on the things that we do have. And one example is I have been experiencing some physical challenges with my different abilities. And at one point, about almost 2 weeks ago, my son had to push me in a wheelchair because I was unable to walk. And I was in a lot of pain, but I recalled hearing someone else's testimony that is a recent amputee. Now, although I was in a lot of pain, although I was having some limitations, I had to connect to my joy that I still had my foot, I still had my leg. It doesn't negate that I have an issue, but to Rebecca's point, it could be different, a whole lot worse. So as I said before the show started, I did have to prioritize this coming on because this is my jam. Like, you know, being able to lift these things out, because the world is going to tell us that, oh my God, we don't have enough money. Oh my God, we don't have a big enough house. Oh my God, we don't have a job. But oh my God, what do you have? Right? So thank you for this subject matter.
Man, y'all keep me walking on cloud nine sometimes, especially when I hear the wonderful things that you share about being in this space. It means so much. It's my contribution. Um, Mary Carmen, glad you could make it. Glad you are able to tune in, and greetings to you as well. You brought up something that definitely connects with this whole topic, and that's joy. That's exactly where I was going to steer the ship to. So I'll ask this question now, and I'll answer it first, because you kind of already stole some of my thunder, Lisa. So the question is, can someone make you happy? Um, Boy, no, I don't even want that responsibility. Um, but I hope that I can bring joy. I really do. And I hope that I receive joy equally. I know that I do. So I do believe somebody can cheer you up, or actually just thinking of someone that you really hold in that special place in your heart can bring you some joy, bring you some appreciation. Um, but that that notion that someone can make you happy, I just feel like it's a dangerous game to play, or that's a dangerous idea to commit to. Um, but I could be wrong. So somebody tell me. Lisa, I'm coming back to you because you brought it up. That joyful thing is a real thing. Ain't nothing wrong with some joy. I take all the joy I can get.
Joy, joy. Um, the gift of healing is amazing. So I'm glad you brought that question out. Can someone make you happy? If we depend on those external factors, then that's what we're going to look for and that's what we're going to accept. And I have been that person. I have been that person, and especially with my children and with significant others, with family and friends. It's like, oh my goodness, they're doing this. And that's disrupting my life. That's making me unhappy. But I go back to, once you receive a level of healing, and you have to receive it. I had to, I mean, you talked earlier today that you have to be open to saying, okay, someone noticed something or is dropped a little something for me to pick up on. This show is one of those things, right? So everybody that's out there listening, watching now, or whenever, you are here at this appointed time to get something. So if I can pour something into somebody that, man, I spent a lot of miserable days, nights, hours thinking that, oh my God, if my husband just this, if my kids just that. And it was just absolutely not true. Because even if they did it in that moment, then there's going to be another moment that in their humanity, they're not going to be perfect, because in my humanity, I'm not perfect. So I had to find whether they're good, whether they say yes, whether they say no. I still have to be good. So it goes back to the joy. So I'm with you. I don't believe anybody can make you happy, because to your point, that's too big of a burden to put on someone. And we're only flesh and blood. And so if I put you up on this pedestal, I'm setting you up for failure. And then I'm setting myself up for failure. So if I care about you, I don't want to do that to you. So I have to keep looking internally and then giving you grace for your humanity. Now, on the flip side of that, if my engagement with someone, my involvement with someone brings more pain than contributes to my joy, then I got to cut that one off. So that means I don't engage you. Um, and it doesn't have to be as toxic as I have done it before. I have just cut people off and be like, I don't want to ever talk to you again. Made it a little more dramatic, but I am more thoughtful in that these days. So I can choose to not talk to you as often, or choose how and when I talk to you and engage you to take care of myself, because that's my burden for myself. And I'm not going to put it on other people anymore, or at least I try every single day, but I still have that humanity.
You know, I know you don't mind me saying, because we talk about it. Um, I've just witnessed so much growth, and I'm not even saying this from some positionality where I get to look and say, "Oh, well, she's better," and that's no. I to be as much involved and in your space as I am, and to feel that joy when we have exchanges, even if it was like the one where you just venting today. It's an event. It's venting, but it's still a joy in the fact that I have that level of camaraderie and trust with you. So I definitely appreciate that. It brought me joy, even though it was a vent. So it's just joyous. Um, but yeah, this is this topic. I think the ability to value time spent with someone, exchanges of energies and emotions and whatever else comes with that, uh, that's the priority. The Epicurean in me is a pleasure seeker. It's not about the pain. And I'm with you, Lisa. If somebody's showing you uh, something that doesn't set right with your soul, then why continue to subject yourself to it? I mean, you can like someone as much as you want to like them. You can love them, but if they treating you like the wrong thing to treat you like, then hey, you just gotta. I can't do this anymore, and you can do it in a way that helps you maintain your peace of mind, uh, and doesn't violate or disrespect the principles you associate with caring about someone. You can still care about the person. Jay Dwayne, coming to you next. Um, what are your thoughts on this piece of the puzzle, man? Can someone make you happy?
I will say this. It was something that Lisa and Rebecca said that's kind of triggering for me. And I do want to kind of talk about it just a little bit, only because when we talk about gratitude, I'm not saying this is what y'all were saying. What I heard is more like, if I'm having a low moment and I see somebody who's lower, I should be grateful that I'm not as low. You know what I mean? And I feel like we do psych ourselves out of some things we're going through, like a brother tired. I don't care if Lisa's more tired than me. I'm still tired. Yes, I can be grateful I'm not as tired as Lisa. But it's like my emotion doesn't change because a brother is still tired. And I feel like sometimes, and I don't know if that's like trauma from religion or something, but it's like we have to substitute. Like, why can't both exist? Yes, he's homeless, but I still don't want to work 8 jobs to not be homeless. Sometimes I'm jealous of the homeless person. I'm like, that to be free and billless, that stuff be stressing me out. Now, so I really want to talk, because I do feel like a lot of us do that. Like,
You were triggered for real. You were really triggered.
yeah, because bro, like people be struggling for real, and they'll pull from somebody else and say, "Well, at least I'm not that." Well, that still don't take away the fact you pulling your hair out. You see what I'm saying? And I just feel like we need to create spaces where all this can exist. I'm sorry you homeless, But if I don't work these 18 jobs, I'm going to be homeless too. And I want to be like you, but I don't want to die trying to live. And I think we kind of do that sometimes. But can someone, Rebecca had a comment. She said, someone can temporarily create happiness for you, but ultimately happiness or joy comes from within. I do agree. I think that we
Hey man, stop doing my job.
I think sometimes we confuse influence and control. You can influence me to be angry. You can influence me to want to show out, but I am in control of my actions. But you can do some things that can kind of influence me. It's almost like, should I slap the hell out of you? No, I shouldn't have. Did you deserve it? Debatable. And I think that sometimes those are the places that are kind of gray. You know what I mean? And you kind of pick and choose, and it's like, you should be grateful that I didn't do more. You know what I mean? So I think that sometimes it's a play on those things and how we feel about them. But yeah, I definitely think that people can influence, like you can influence my happiness. Like, how is that so? If I'm with a person that's incompatible with me, they can just interrupt my groove and I will have to fight twice as hard to be happy when it's easier just to eliminate them. And so those are those grays that we sometimes don't necessarily think about. That's all. But it just triggered me that substituting my trauma for somebody else's. We both traumatized.
Can I say something?
Of course. Go ahead.
I've been needing to laugh. Like, I've really been needing to laugh. And Jay, thank you very much. But I concur. I definitely didn't want you to hear that from me, because I hate when people do that. Because what hurts and bothers you is not the same thing that's going to hurt and bother me. So don't try to minimize my pain. So I definitely was not saying that, bro, because you're right. I do have some people that's like, well, but you got a house and you got a car. And I'm like you. Well, you got free 3 hots and a cot over at the Mission. So how about that? So don't try to act like I ain't getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and going to 11 o'clock at night so I can have a house and a car. So look, if that's what you got for me, bro, look, I'm sorry, but I concur with you. That other thing was a level for me to get over what I'm dealing with. But thank you for the laugh, bro.
No problem. But I do hear people, Lisa, like to that point, they say, well, it could be worse. Yes, it could be worse, but that still doesn't take away the fact that what I'm experiencing is still bad. And it hurt. You know what I mean? And it's like we skip phases, say, well, I should get the appreciative, but no, I'm hurting. I know it could be worse. I could be
dead. Jay has been triggered by
it's bad.
People who are challenged with housing, and it's bad. But listen, I'm not gonna steal Rebecca's moment, because she has some things that I think we need to discuss, but I also want her to respond to that position, because I'll say really quickly, and you can leave that up for me. I'll say really quickly, I think Rebecca's comment was super subjective, just based on the moment she was thinking at the moment that someone expressed to them, hey, at least you got that much. But I'm in total agreement, because, hey, I think it was Socrates, one of the greatest philosophers to ever live. He chose homelessness. He chose to not bathe and things of that nature. Some of this stuff is based on what you decide to do. Shalita says, I agree, Rebecca. Definitely starts within. And oh my, those boundaries and acceptance can create so much joy. You're absolutely right. You have to dictate some of what you're experiencing. And you have to sometimes know, how many times have you worked with somebody that just, it's like, I got to go in here and deal with them today. You know they're getting ready to steal some of your joy. So you got to be careful with that. Mary Carmen has made some good comments. She agrees that these two things do a dance. They're tied in many ways. And grateful makes you happy. Happiness makes you grateful. That's an interesting way to make those things dance, Mary Carmen. Thank you for that comment. And Rebecca, I want you to unpack your comments a little bit if you can. Wait a minute, we got one more comment to show. I'm sorry, I'm jumping on. Jessica says intent versus impact. Most people don't intend to be dismissive, but the impact of their statements ends up being dismissive anyway. Yeah, there's we have an ability to kind of take something from someone sometimes, and that's coming up. That's actually one of the one of the other questions I have. So we'll unpack that a little bit more, Jessica. Thanks for chiming in. Yeah, so Rebecca, definitely coming to you. You have some things to unpack. You said a wonderful statement that has disappeared for some reason. But yeah, you got some things you want to throw out there, and you can answer this question. Can someone make you happy?
Well, technically, I answered it in the chat, Felton. I had said that.
That's not how it works here. You answer it out loud for everybody.
Okay, now I know. Next week, go to the YouTube.
Well,
Okay.
don't do that. Next week, turn your camera on. Come on.
All right, baby steps, baby steps. So going back to Jay Dwayne, I totally agree that yeah, bro, you homeless and I got more than you, but that don't mean that I'm, in the same pot. Like, bro, I'm working 3 jobs, recovering from 2 knee surgeries in the last year. Like, I am tired. I'm exhausted. What the girls say on TikTok, I'm tired. So it's sometimes I feel like my empathy and my compassion gets in the way of my own happiness and joy sometimes, because I tend to put everyone and everything in front of my own self. And to tie into the comment, I forgot who said it, I'm sorry, but to tie into the comment on the screen where it was like, crap, I lost my train of thought. But yes, the intent. Okay, there we go. My train coming back to the station. So no, put a footnote in that. It's gone. There we go. Okay, here we go. Thank you. So a few years ago, I had started working at a warehouse, and I'm gonna leave that warehouse to be unnamed at the moment. But I had met a girl in there who would always come and complain and complain and complain about her life. And I just looked at her face one time and was just like, are you going to keep complaining, or are you going to actually do what you need to do to be happy and joyful in your own life? And in that moment, I didn't see how I was being dismissive of her feelings and what she was going through. So I feel like sometimes we got to come out of this self-absorbedness, self-centered mindset and be a little more empathetic and compassionate towards people. However, like Miss Lady said, with the boundaries are where you create your joy sometimes. However, on the flip side, those boundaries are also like the after effects of implementing those boundaries can be a little like of an emotional roller coaster. Like I've implemented some boundaries with some folks and they fell off, and I'm just like, well, damn. Okay, so that kind of made me feel bad, made me feel like I was betraying them. But at the end of the day, that's where I'm putting other people and, other things above my own happiness. So I'm only 30, but I'm still learning that, we are in control of our own lives, and we can't let other people's actions or emotions dictate how we respond and how we feel. Granted, I'll be wanting to call 1-800-CHOKE that hole so many times throughout the day. So like Jay Dwayne said, they need to be grateful I ain't dialed that phone number. But I'm also grateful I ain't react that way, because I'd have caught a charge. So I don't know, the boundary thing, and that's kind of like a fine line for me with feeling, bad or whatnot, and being happy. So dang, my train done went to 50-11 platforms on this little comment here. This why I ain't got my camera on, because my hands is going everywhere. But I do think that people can temporarily create happiness for you. However, when that person is removed from your life, or that person decides that they no longer want to be with you or interact with you or anything like that, then that leaves that giant void. And it's like, where did my happiness go? So I'm learning that happiness comes from within, and so does joy. Now, I will battle back on this whole gratefulness is happiness, because I'm grateful for everything that I have and everybody I do have in my life still. But I ain't happy. I'm getting there, but I'm not happy. So, but yeah. So I don't know. My train done went to 5011 platforms, and I'm a docket at the station right now.
That's okay. That's what we're here for. I appreciate your insight and your thoughts. Keep. That's what makes this place so special to me. I mean, just the exchange of ideas and information. So go to every platform of the train station that you need to. So we appreciate you, Rebecca. I wanted to say something inside of what's been discussed. It's the principles that exist within that allow you to interact in a way that can lead to the more authentic relationships that you desire. But all of that begins within. So if you are dependent on another individual to give you some type of balance, and I said dependent, to give you some type of balance, if that's happiness or if that's comfort or whatever that is, if you're dependent on that other individual, as Lisa's already alluded to, they're human beings also. There's going to be a time when that just isn't the thing that they can meet that day. And what does that do for you? It can be tough. So yeah, the reliance has to be within, but to Rebecca's point, it's not a selfish reliance. We should be compassionate. We should be understanding. We should sometimes just listen. Something I have trouble doing. I admit it. I own up to it because I'm like, get through that shit. Let's go to the next thing. What's wrong with you? Let's wake up. Lisa, look at Lisa laugh because I'll be shaking Lisa. I'll be like, come on, you can get there. And she'd be like, no, I just need a moment. And I get it. I'm getting better at getting it. But that's my personality trait. That's my version of being a human being. So it's not an easy thing. We're all dealing with something. Corinne Bailey Rae is one of my favorite singers. If you know me, you probably know that. But she has a lyric in one of her songs. Everybody's fragile, don't you know? I mean, everybody is. So we got to keep that in mind. Now, you guys, and especially Rebecca just then, she kind of was getting to one of my questions. So I'm going to just put a pin in that one. I want to ask this one. I think this is a very interesting question. And Lisa, I'm coming to you with it first because of a dynamic that you've expressed to me so much, but you've worked so much for and that's, feeling let down by people that you love. So what does being happy for someone else feel or look like for you? How does that work for you? What does being happy for somebody else look like for you?
Oh my goodness. What? And I don't think I've ever been stumped by a question of yours. For me, so here's what I'll say. I had this conversation earlier this week with about 3 different people saying that I'm not a jealous person. I never have been a jealous person. So it's easy for me to feel so filled up by watching other people win. And I spend a whole lot of my life with trying to put people on to win. So if I find out something, oh, let me tell you. If I get connected to something, let me connect you. So I think for me, I have an opposite problem. When people don't win, when I'm seeing, and not just me, Ray Charles can see, if you take that, you can win, right? That right there is the worst thing for me because I don't like to see people suffer. And I hate to see people unhappy. And then I just want to shake them and be like, but what are you doing? So matter of fact, my daughter, she wants to do American Sign Language. She want to teach people American Sign Language. So I'm going off kind of the other day. And I'm like, look, I keep inviting you to all these things that I'm at. I got all these people trying to connect to me that could put you on. Stop telling me you want to do this. And stop telling me I'm tired of that, right? If you want to do that, then you show up. So I love seeing people happy and full of joy, but I have that other opposite problem. So well, mama, my time ain't your time. Okay, but when I'm out of here, don't call me then. Because right now I'm in perfect position to put you on. So that's what gets me the most problems is that I'm trying to help everybody win after I see this great opportunity. But if you don't want it, but that's where these boundaries come up again too. Because I have to tell myself, hey, I can't want more from you than you want for yourself. So I'm just going to go get it. And then Rebecca has said something about, the compassion and listening to people and some stuff like that. For me, knowing how I take on other people's emotions because I am compassionate, I have to have this real strong boundary that if you too much, like if you're in that too much, I might listen 1 or 2 times, but I can't listen over and over and over, because then I get brought on down there and then I kind of blow up like I did in my daughter the other day. So don't call me about a car. Don't call me about a refrigerator. Don't call me about a bill if I'm trying to turn you on. And then here I'm expounding that energy, and then I've gone and blown up. And I can't even say move outside of your character, because I hate when people say that, because it's obviously in you if you can pull it up. So I have to have this boundary, and I have to stop myself. So put your own mask on. So okay, Lisa, if that troubles you and that level of engagement takes too much out of you, requiring more than you want to pay, then you'll stop it. Right. So I had to, even my kid, okay, I'm not telling you no more. I'm not inviting you anywhere anymore. So we were somewhere and she was like, "Ooh, introduce me to that person." Nope. And I'm good with it. Boundaries.
I do recall that. That was fairly recent and it was funny, but it was, yeah, it was funny night. So yeah, I remember that. You touched on something that I don't want to express yet because I want to get responses from Jay and Rebecca. So I'm not gonna say that thing, but it does this. The question literally, well, it should cause this to continue, and I'll remember to come back to it because I think this question is it gets at something, and I'll unpack all of that on the other side. But I want to hear from Rebecca first, and then I'll come to Jay. Rebecca, what does being happy for someone else feel or look like to you?
Okay. Uh, so I have absolutely no problem being happy for someone else. Like, I'm gonna just use Aj for example, because we just had dinner together the other night. So she's, finishing her PhD program. I'm gonna be there to support. I'm gonna be there to listen, to talk, to help you study, like whatever you need, whatever celebratory moment, bad moment, good moment, whatever you need to feel better. If you need me to be there, I'll support you 100%. That makes me happy to a certain level. But once I get home and I sit down and I decompress and then I start thinking about my stuff, I'm gonna go have me a good old shower cry. And that makes me feel better sometimes. But yeah, showing up for other people is kind of my lifeline right now in this moment for these last few months. Showing up for other people, I would say, has been my lifeline. And I have no problem showing up to make them happy. But oh, I hope she don't hear this. But on the flip side, I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna feel my range of emotions that I've put to the side so I can be there for you in this moment. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's not just with Aj. I don't want to single her out or nothing, but it's everybody, like best friend, cousins, all that good stuff. Like, if you need me, call me and I'm gonna show up regardless. But maybe that's my own fault sometimes, because that leads back into me putting everybody else in front of my own self. And and it's been a struggle learning to stop doing that when I know I need time for myself. But yeah, showing up for other people brings happiness to my life, but that's because I'm compartmentalizing to the max and I'm pushing all my stuff down to where it's not even a pebble under my shoe right now. That thing is 6 feet under. So there is the emotional rebound that I have when I do come home after doing some stuff like that, where I have to sit with my own stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, I dig it.
two-sided coin.
The recharge is necessary, especially when you know you are potentially exhausting yourself in that way. If it is exhaustion, it may not be exhaustion, but you definitely have to be cognizant of that. Jay, I'm not going to read your comment. that you put in the private chat. I'm very appalled by that and
I
disturbed,
agree.
and it hurts. It hurts very much. I don't even know if I want to talk to you anymore, man. I might send you backstage, man. This is not cool, man. Stop it, man. So anyway, Jay, your turn.
Don't get mad because you done came up with this trauma show.
Hey, man, this is trauma. You got to go through something to get somewhere. So let's go.
This old Ayala remix. Nobody got
Nah,
time to be
hey,
crying and
man,
carrying
I'm,
on.
I'm not gonna have you go and call up somebody and tell them to come by so you can give them a hug. That's not what we're doing right here.
Get it
Or
in
either, and then Oprah standing off to the side like, yeah, that's what we like. We like all of that.
Right.
So, what does being happy for someone else feel or look like to you? So I'm 2 for 2 right now. I'm ready. I want to see if you continue this through line because I got a good
I
response.
guess. See, what's the problem is not the question; it's the responses that are triggering for me. Because what I see a lot of times, and we talk about spaces that we work in, I look at patterns and I help people kind of navigate through those and they pick up values. We transfer so many values that may not necessarily be healthy for us, but we say it because it's so societally accepted. But if you come back and look at it, you're like, why would you? Okay, so first we confuse boundaries and capacity. A lot of us don't have boundary issues because we let the people we want in. It's just that you give them free range when they in. That's a capacity thing. So it's not like I don't want you in my life. It's not that I don't want you around. It's when you're here, I need to give you levels to where you can explore. And so a lot of us struggle more with capacity, not boundaries. Because a lot of us already have our walls built up. A lot of us, don't let too many people in. It's hard to develop relationships. It's hard to do all of those things. So once we let you in, see, that's a boundary. We know you got a boundary. Now, when you let them in, what are you going to let them have access to? And a lot of us are all or nothing, and then we feel guilty when we tell somebody we're at capacity. That doesn't mean you're mad. And I had to learn that I could be honest without being angry. And a lot of people weaponize things that are true. Like you hear people say, you better go on out my face before I really tell you the truth or before I really hurt your feelings. Why can't you just tell me the truth without hurting my feelings? Why would you withhold the truth from me if we're in a space that's supposed to be safe and we have some type of relationship? Why would you want me to hurt in silence and you not know? So I find it liberating and I find more happiness when I'm connected to people I can truly be free and honest with.
Hold on,
Now,
Jay. I got a question for you.
yes.
I know I saw you deflate, but everybody is not ready for that level of truthfulness. I do not agree with that precursor, like you better get out of my face before, because I think that's manipulative. Like that's to respond, get you to do something and to have you like wondering what it is. But if you care about people, is actually knowing who that person is, that you cannot fully express your full thoughts because it will be traumatizing to them, or it will have a level of pain for them that has some unintended consequences because they're not where you are, or you're not where they can receive what it is you're giving them. So I'm sorry.
No, I love that because we was about to go there, but to your point, I am people too. You are people. We do people and make us the exception to that. If I can't be honest with you, I don't need to be around you. And we don't even establish that boundary. I'm people. So if we don't want to hurt people, why would we hurt ourselves at the expense of people? And we saying we don't want to hurt people, but you the first people that you hurt. It's like those conversations. So when we going back to, can you be happy for a person? I can definitely be happy, but it doesn't always have to be a joyous situation. I want to say this because there are tough situations that people need to learn, and I'm happy you learned it. And I'm just saying because I'm a person that celebrates reaping and sowing. Sometimes I can't tell you. There are some people that live in this world that don't believe that wall hurt until they bust their own head up against it. And I'm going to be like, okay, you learned? Good. I'm going to give you a Band-Aid, but I'm not going to say, I wish it didn't hurt. I'm glad it hurt. And we feel guilty for saying, I'm glad you experienced something that's going to save you. And I just want to free us from some of those things, because we are the people that cry in the dark. We are the people that go home and hurt. We are the people that carry so much because we're made from a societal standpoint to feel guilty for being human, but taught to care about people, but people always exclude ourselves. And I don't understand that rationale. That's
Thank
all.
you. Thank you
That's
for,
all.
I'm sorry, Felton, but I'm sorry. He was on one and now you didn't trigger me. You helped me get some confirmation because you just reminded me of a whole 15-minute long rant I gave to that same daughter earlier today. I was like, stop calling me, telling me you proud that I'm boss this. You think you tell your friends to do that because you don't know what my life is like. You have no idea the conversations I had to have this morning with this kind of personality. And then I have to turn on at 12 o'clock and be this kind of personality. Then I have to do that. Like I was on one. And so to your point, I said, I'm a human being too. You may think it's cool where, oh, you want to celebrate boss lady mama because you get to show off, but you ain't supporting boss lady mama behind these doors and these walls and these calls and these emails and stuff. So get off my phone.
You got a great point, Jay. You made an awesome point. And Shalita says, hopefully we grow when it hurts. That's a good observation as well. So I'm going to maybe bring some some showers and
I'm
storms
sorry,
and rain.
Felton. I'm sorry.
No. I'm getting ready to clean this up real nicely. The question was, what does being happy for someone else feel or look like to you? You guys all did the thing that I think is the strongest tendency to do for a question such as this. Now, you can definitely say, oh, I didn't take it that way and I misunderstood, or whatever the case may be. But the question is, what does being happy for someone else look or feel like to you? And I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty in the way that Lisa expressed. Someone shared something with me that may be seemingly something that's getting them down the road to a happy place. And I'm instantly going to help mode. Well, how can I be of service to this person and doing something that they're feeling compelled to embark upon? Wow, that might not be the place I should be in that situation. So I've been practicing of late, and I'm going to try to make this a continued practice of being happy for someone by just saying, I'm really happy for you. That's awesome. That's great. Saying less. And then this is the critical part, because this is the thing that this all three of you just did this. Now, bear with me. Not including myself in whatever that thing is that they're saying that they're potentially getting ready to be happy about beyond the moment that they shared with me. So, Rebecca, you are dealing with what you deal with in life, and it's great that you are supportive as you are, because I know that to be a fact. I'm not going to let someone else's positionality and balance mine further. So yeah, don't take it home with you. And Lisa, you got a lot of love and care, and that often leaves you open and vulnerable, especially to those that you care and love about the most, and that's love the most, and that's your family, that's your kids. Um, but yeah, if there's an expression of appreciation for who you are and what you're doing, that might be more for her than it is for you. Take it, and don't 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 unload on her. you know? And Jay, man, you've been a stalwart and someone I appreciate for how much you require of what I try to do here in terms of unpacking it and taking it to a different level and things. But yeah, you get so much of what I do here. You really do. That's what makes you a great contributor. You one of the few people that I've done a show and it's just been you and I, and it's just been as valuable as any other show that I've put out here in this space. So keep being as complex as you are when it comes to dealing with human beings, because human beings are complex and we have to make room and be patient with one another. And I think that's at the core of what you're saying. You're just making it about your position as much as it is about their position. It's a shared thing. This humanity thing is it's crazy, man. I'm a big fan of the human condition, but man, yeah, sometimes you want to call that number that Rebecca was talking about. What was it? Choke somebody. I don't. You ain't got to bring that back up. Go ahead.
1-800 choke that hoe.
That sounds very controversial, but I'm appreciative. All right,
Yeah,
guys.
you gotta watch more Medea movies.
Then you know good and well my position on any of that. That was really that was a shot right there. I'm hurt by that. I'm hurt by that. So listen,
Oh, come on.
this
I
is
gave you
what
a compliment in the beginning.
you did, and then you ended it with that mess. You know good and well.
Had to.
So I stay on mic because I'm gonna say just final thoughts on tonight's topic: happiness or gratefulness. Is it binary? Is it a choice that you have to make? Choose wisely was the topic. So I'm circling back to that part. I had a really good question. We might have to do a part 2 to this. I had a really good question I wanted to get to, but we don't have time. So happiness or gratefulness. When I say choose wisely, what would be your choice, Rebecca?
My first answer was a part 2. Ooh, I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of leaning towards that comment where it's like, they dance together, like you said, but also one can lead to the other. So even though I may not be too happy in my life right now because of outside circumstances, that doesn't diminish how grateful I am and all that stuff. And I'm doing things to find my own joy again. So I feel like that's really important. I think I'll make this my last little note so I can go back on the mute. It's really important to feed your inner child. And I've learned that feeding my inner child is what's bringing me joy right now. So just do what you got to do to make yourself happy.
Great comment. So you love golf as well. I appreciate that.
Boy, bye.
Golf is where it's at. Lisa, happiness or gratefulness?
I'm gonna choose gratefulness because gratefulness gives me joy. Because happiness is too fleeting, and I don't feel it on the inside. But Tasha Cobbs Leonard has a song called "Grace," which connects me to gratefulness. Because if I think of the places that I could be, this does not negate the experiences that I have, Jay, nor you, but the things that could have happened. So that's what helps me be able to even get through. Today may be Thursday, but it sure felt like that same Monday. But I have so much gratitude for the spaces and places I'm able to be in to further the agenda of advocating for my people.
That's that purposefulness. That's out now. These three things do some dances. That purposefulness that plays a role in that gratitude and in that potential for happiness. That purposefulness is it can be added in. Maybe that'll be the part 2 to this. I'll throw purposefulness in there. I think I will. I think I like that idea. Jay, what about you, man? Binary or happiness or grateful, or which one you gonna choose?
Oh, I'm definitely going with grateful. Because see, with grateful, I'm guaranteed some happy moments. It's just no way around it. Now, if I just choose happy, I'm not guaranteed grateful moments. So I'm definitely going to go with grateful. And I will say this too. I'm grateful for this discussion. And one of the things that I also just wanted to say, because it's messing with me, a lot of times people think just because they change the definition of a word, the true intent of that word changes, and it never will. And Rebecca, your name means to grip and to hold firmly. So there's going to be a lot of things you just can't let go of because it's in your DNA. And celebration is the only way that you're going to get through it. You can't substitute or synthesize these experiences. You're just going to have to embrace it fully because that's what your liberation is. And when people try to shortchange you or you shortchange yourself, you feel cheapened and you experience it to your inner core. So you have to be one of those people who experience it all, good and bad, and synthesize it that way versus trying to break it down. You're just not made that way. And it's okay to embrace all of you. And all of you is what makes you dope. If you start taking parts and pieces, you'd be like, oh, yeah, of course we can scrutinize that. But the collective you is what makes you who you are and why you're so necessary, and also why people cling to you. It is a sign of your strength. And I just wanted you to know that, because that's what your name means. That's who you are. And it even goes down to the soul. And it's talk about the soul and the soil, which is used interchangeably.
Man, that was awesome. Proselytize there. Go, Rebecca, you got a comment. You done turned the camera on. You done brought her out of the wilderness and the darkness, Jay Dwayne. Whoo! You done brought her out of there. Go on and say something, Rebecca. He done brought you out of the wilderness. Go ahead.
He sure did, because I'm like, if y'all only knew what I'm struggling to let go of right now. He just read me like an open book just from my name, and I ain't gonna say that, like the astrology, zodiacs, and all that play a part, but I'm also a Scorpio, like down to the
I'm one
T.
too. Hey!
So
Woohoo!
don't hate, okay? If like Jay Dwayne, you really just read me like a book, and I'm really struggling to let go of what I'm going through right now, and I don't know how right now. I struggle with it. I pray and I talk to the Lord. I talk to him. Like I grew up single father home, moved around a lot. We wasn't really big on church, but I am very spiritual. So I feel like I like to use, I talk, talk versus pray for the most part. But I've been having conversations with the Creator every day I wake up, like, please, Lord, give me the strength to let this go. Like, and I struggle every day. So that makes me wonder, am I really supposed to let this go? Or do I just need to hold on just a little bit more? But like you said, Felton, in the car a little earlier, like, you just got to accept it for what it is. And I do feel like I've tried to hide a lot of myself to help appease other people, and I feel like that's cheating myself. So yeah, like he just had my name, and he just like told my God damn, like damn.
He never done that for nobody else either. I don't even understand. My name.
Y'all see that back there? Which way my head going? Y'all see? Y'all see all that back there? Like, yeah, we finna get it on.
No, I'm sitting up here, been on this show with him how many years, and I'm like, okay, what does Lisa mean? What you got for me?
You'll cuss us, Lisa, and I don't want to be cussed on air.
See, I was trying to be professional, but I'm in the same boat with you, Lisa. Next week, I got it. Floodgates open.
Look, hey, come back. This is critically important right now. This is very important. I want y'all to hear this.
But I'm really grateful I tuned in for tonight's episode.
I
needed this. Like, honestly, I needed this. So
that was perfect timing. Literally, that was awesome timing. I was like, I'm getting ready to say exactly what you said. I'm so grateful for you guys. I'm so grateful for this space. You've brought me joy. I've laughed because it's necessary. That's what we're here for. Let's exchange this pleasure and joy of life. And Rebecca, you can't have pleasure without pain. If you never go through something, you won't appreciate the outcome that you desire, that you eventually get to. Oh, thank you, Shalita. That means the world. I appreciate you.
Lord, Miss Shalita, you making this man head grow even bigger.
See the hate I get for no reason. I get the hate because I love. I love
our banter though. Like I love our banter.
You know I hold you in the highest regard, and I truly appreciate you. And I'm glad you came through tonight. I'm so glad, and thanks for coming off the camera just because somebody called your name. Hey, listen, thank you all. I appreciate y'all. I hope to see you next week, Rebecca, because next week it's gonna be a Black History Month show. You gotta be here. So look, we got history degrees that we're gonna exercise a little bit next week. So hey, look, y'all have a wonderful night. I appreciate y'all as always, and man, I'm happy and grateful. Have a good night, y'all. Take care.